Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Chris with InsideTheU. Thanks for stopping by. If you like this video, if you want to see more of these kind of stories, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. So in this video, I'd like to provide an example of what makes Coach Cristobal a good recruiter. I think many of you hear coaches talk a lot about some of the things they prioritize on the recruiting trail, things they're looking for in a prospect. And I just want to provide an example again from something that I saw firsthand years ago being around Coach Cristobal. So we were at a high school football practice and there were players that were high profile guys, highly regarded recruits that Cristobal was very interested in. And I was there to be at practice, observe, take down some notes, write some articles, do interviews, get video photos and things like that. So we were talking quite a bit, and he's a guy that I've known for a while. So we were talking about different things. And then he turned to a player that was on the sideline as we were watching practice. And this player was not a recruitable guy. He was not a guy that was even a prominent guy on their high school team, but he was just there at practice. I think he might have been injured or something like that. If you've been to high school football practices, you know there's not everybody's involved in practice, but Coach Cristobal turned to him and he asked him a simple question, but again, it stood with me this whole time that I've thought about with Coach Cristobal. And he asked this player, he's like, who's the toughest guy on the team? I thought it was an interesting question, but basically this is just an example of Coach Cristobal and his priorities with recruiting and basically just trying to get as much information about a player and a prospect as possible. So we asked the player, you know, who's the toughest guy on the team? He didn't say, hey, is this so-and-so, is he tough? You know, is this recruit, this high profile guy, is he tough? What's he like? He just wanted a blanket question. He just wanted to know who was the toughest guy on the team. And I thought that was really, it really stuck with me because again, you hear coaches talk a lot about, oh, they want toughness or they want certain attributes. So who's a leader and things like that. But Coach Cristobal was going the extra effort to say he wanted to gain more knowledge from this guy and just to see what this guy had to say. You know, you can ask anybody about certain things. Certainly you ask the high school coaches, anybody close to the players, you can ask teammates like he did here, or just, you know, other players or other people in the community about certain recruits. But I thought it was very interesting that he asked this player because, again, this guy was not a high-profile guy, wasn't even a big name or anything like that, but he wanted to get his information. And the guy opened up and he told him exactly what he thought about his teammates and said who the toughest guys were, you know, and he kind of explained it and what makes them tough. And I thought that was very interesting. And Cristobal certainly got the answer that he liked, and definitely this guy provided the names of these high-profile guys. So it wasn't a big surprise, but certainly could have said anybody in that moment. And I thought it was good, and I think that this applies to Coach Cristobal's philosophy. So when you hear him talk about toughness, he's going to try to get the tough recruits. He's going to get tough-minded guys on campus. He wants to know all about these guys, and this is going to be a staple for him at Miami, just like it's been with his other teams he's coached. He wants these guys to be tough, not just physically, but also mentally too. You know, he wants these guys to really be able to go into game action and get the best out of them against tough challenges. So this stands out to me. Again, it's something that Coach Cristobal prioritizes. And I just wanted to provide an example because I think that oftentimes you hear certain things, but maybe what does it mean? And you know, how does it relate to Miami, particularly now as he takes over as head coach? What will it mean moving forward? I think Miami definitely needs to get toughness on their team. I think Cristobal is going to get guys that fit Miami very well. He's going to get guys that on both sides of the ball, and I think that's very good. I think it doesn't just portray to the defensive side of the ball. You know, when you think about toughness and guys that are hard-hitting guys and guys that are tough to go against on defense, but I think on offense too. I think your offensive line, I think what you're going to see at Miami under Coach Cristobal is you're going to see a very tough, hard-nosed offensive line. And I think you're going to see it at the other positions as well. I think you're going to see a running game that has some power elements to it. I think you're going to see some receivers that are going to be bigger than what we've seen at Miami in recent years. I think that's a good thing. I think you're going to see some toughness, some physicality on the Miami Hurricanes team. And I think in order to get to where they want to go in terms of competing for conference championships and beyond, I think you need this toughness. I think they've got to improve in this area. And it dates me back to where Coach Cristobal was asking this player, this essentially a random guy, a guy that he didn't even know, but he wanted to get the most out of him in terms of who are the tough guys on the team. And I think that's good too, because you know, at these high schools, particularly in South Florida, it's not just about the guys that are seniors coming up. There's always good players coming below them as well. You want to find out as much information as you can at the junior level, the sophomores, and even the freshmen. There are guys that can play at all levels, at all classes. I think Coach Cristobal is going to be on track because he has shown examples of that throughout his coaching career. Again, he's been at multiple stops. It's not just his time at Miami, but he's been at different places. And I think he's been the same guy based on some people that I've talked to about the type of coaches he's been there. So once again, like I said, if you like this video, if you want to hear more little short stories about recruiting, maybe about what makes Coach Cristobal special and unique on the recruiting trail, I've got some other stories I'd like to share. Please hit the like button and be sure to stay locked into InsideTheU.com for plenty more information and content on Coach Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. Thanks for watching.